Bill Kristol, editor of the Weekly Standard, has been trying to find someone, anyone, to mount a conservative third-party challenge this fall, and he's come up with a writer for the National Review, David French, an Iraq War veteran.
It would totally change the dynamic at that point, because I know for a fact an awful lot of Republicans are throwing in for Donald Trump right now because they feel like they have no other option. You know what happens when it's in the House of Representatives? There's other options, and Republicans will take that, and that's the key of the Mitt Romney choice. You give all of these people another option.
Trump, who's been taking whacks at Kristol, targeted him again this week.
Kristol's the one he's the last one. Don't forget. He said Trump will never run. You know, the guy's not a smart person. He said Donald Trump will never run. Remember? Do you remember? I actually blame you. Why do you put this guy on television?
I talked about this and the campaign coverage with Laura Ingraham, the radio talk show host, Fox News contributor, and founder of the website LifeSet. Laura Ingraham, welcome. Bill Kristol has been asking one conservative politician after another to mount a third-party challenge, and the best they come up with is a basically unknown National Review writer named David French, a journalist.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a decorated war veteran, and he seems like to be a very nice person.
I'm sure he's a terrific guy.
Yeah,
never run for dog catcher.
Yeah, I don't, look, I cannot get into Bill Kristol's mind about this. It's clear to me that the party has basically coalesced behind Trump, 87% of the party last time I checked. So if Bill Kristol thinks that somehow David French is going to deliver the electoral nirvana for a neoconservative vision, you know, I guess, you know, let him go ahead and do that. I'm not sure what the end game is, though. I don't think Bill Kristol thinks David French is going to be a nominee that's going to take on Hillary Clinton. So the only result of this would be, obviously, to ensure that Donald Trump does not win, if that could actually happen, and Hillary Clinton becomes the commander-in-chief of the United States. So you have to conclude from that Bill Kristol's a lot more comfortable, at least, with Hillary at the helm than Donald Trump. Which
I'm sure he would dispute, and I'm sure he's acting on what he sees as principle. But you have Donald Trump attacking him, talking about the failing Weekly Standard and why do people put him on TV. Is he now fair game for these kinds of political attacks?
I wouldn't do it if I were Trump. If I were Trump, I'd focus all of my fire on Hillary, and there's a lot to focus on, not just her failure in foreign policy, but the Clinton Foundation. The fact that the country's kind of tired of these old political dynasties. They want to move forward with a new, fresh approach to trade, immigration, tax reform.
But that's
Hillary's
not Trump's style. Trump's style is
well,
to punch back at the people who punch him.
I get that, but you got a big target in the Clintons. And now that President Obama is coming out and campaigning, he's a phenomenal campaigner. You have a lot to tackle here. So I think internally fighting with someone who is a Republican, but kind of for this purpose of this, running for a third party, I just don't think that gets you anywhere. I think Trump is best when he's going on the offensive as to what the Obama-Clinton legacy has been in foreign policy and domestic policy. I would literally kind of laugh it off and say, you know, God bless Bill Kristol, good luck. It's probably not going to be what he does.
Right.
That's how I would do it.
So with the guy who runs the Weekly Standard recruiting someone from National Review,
why not get someone from the American Spectator at this point? I mean, you just need to hop around all these conservative publications.
Does much of the conservative media now appear to be disconnected from what at least many Republican voters want?
I don't know who they're representing. I mean, I don't know if there are a few big donors to these magazines that are keeping them afloat or are benefactors. I have no idea what's going on.
Elite conservative opinion.
What is conservative? Is conservative unending wars in the Middle East, open borders, and unending trade deals that you can never change? I mean, if that's conservatism, count me out, and I think you can count out millions of Americans. The thing we know is that there was no audience or no following electorally for a neoconservative, Bush-like approach to either foreign policy or domestic policy. If that were popular, Marco Rubio or Jeb Bush would be the nominee today. So they're kind of offering a new version.
You were one of the few prominent conservative voices during the primaries who were not in this never Trump, stop Trump camp.
Right.
And he won. I mean, he went out and he got the votes.
Well, I always thought two key issues were going to change the Republican Party and change its appeal to a wider range of voters: trade and immigration. Now, Trump is an unconventional vessel for those positions, but nevertheless, I think he saw a vacuum. He stepped into that vacuum, and everyone counted him out, but he had one thing that a lot of people didn't have. He had the people on his side. Doesn't mean everybody, but he had a lot of momentum, and he had a bravado that I think is attractive in a kind of weenie-ish, masculinity we're seeing today. I think a lot of people like the fact that he is who he is. It's kind of rough around the edges, but that's okay.
Well, he was certainly rough with the press, calling the press sleazy and worse at the press conference this week. Now, I've been saying that attacking the media helps him, but does this go too far?
I'm of two minds of this, Howie. On the one hand, I kind of agree with what you're saying. At this point, he's in general election mode. You don't want to pick a fight with every two-bit reporter from a media organization. I don't even know that ABC guy. Maybe he's good, maybe he's not. I don't even know. But, again, his whole message to the American people should be, follow me, and I'm going to rebuild this country. We're going to do it together. Your life is going to be better. There are going to be a lot of naysayers. Do what Reagan did. Reagan would laugh him off with a smile and a kind of a little wink and move on to the American people. I think Reagan had the right approach on this. I think picking these fights or answering every criticism, it might have served him well in the primaries, but I think there's going to be so much incoming at him right now that it's going to get a little tedious after a while.
And in half a minute, is there a risk for Donald Trump that he comes off as thin-skinned against media scrutiny, the kind of scrutiny that every candidate is going to get?
I think he's a tough guy. He can take the criticism. I'd let it slide off his back. I think there is a risk in looking just a little too touchy and sensitive. Look at the stuff that people say about you and me, Howie, on the internet. I mean, we would not even get up in the morning if we even cared. Everyone says, did you see what someone wrote? I'm like, ask me if I care. I don't care one bit what anyone says about me, except maybe my family and my close friends.
Right.
He needs to take that point of view, do what's right for America. I think he'll be better off. I also think he'll be happier. He'll have more fun if he mixes it up with the regular people and lets all this other stuff go by.
And on that note, Laura Ingraham,
good to see
great to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure.